Всем привет-привет, вы на канале U-Kaizen, а мы с вами продолжаем проходить Hogwarts Legacy. Нам нужно найти свою гостиную. И, собственно говоря, блядь, где выход? Нашла. О, она сама дверь открывает. Ого. Гля, смотри, смотри. Пиздец. А я могу в другие комнаты зайти? Могу. О, смотри. Я могу что-то спиздить. О, мразела. Так, хорошо. Еще... О, смотри, смотри, похавать спиздим. Туда. Чинас. Так, а вот это вот тут же тоже что-то, наверное, можно было подспиздить, что мы не заметили. Хуй. Так, здесь мы были. Это оно по кругу, наверное. Идиот. Are you stupid, bitch? Ой, смотрите! Уточка! Уточка! Ой, прости. Аня восстановилась. Уточка какая прикольная, блядь. Так.
Наша верхняя.
Так, здесь... Во, пожрать. Тут тоже да блин, пизди пожрать, хватит магичить. Мы сейчас тут всех подожрем. Еще как-то неудобно, блин.
Где? На нахуй!
Так, о, тоже надо подожрать.
Просто дура ебаная, нахуй, передо мной стоит.
О!
Я это вижу, я просто не стреляю в него.
Спиздили, не глядя. Там вас... О! Смотри, нихуя, само играет. Ебанутые? Хуя. Что за магия? Колдуны ебаные. Сжечь их. Протега. А там я, скорее всего... Во. Ого. Сохранение, походу, прошло. Что здесь? Хотите укушение? Пожалуйста, укушайтесь. Немножечко укушение.
Просто идет на меня. Что это?
Да пиздец, они ёбнут.
Зашел на такое, чтобы просто сень.
Само играет.
I suppose some introductions are in order.
Свинота?
Well, I suppose. No. Can I help you? Ah, you're the new 5th year. I'm Sebastian Sallow. Welcome to Slytherin.
Thank you.
Not everyone has a ministry escort to school.
He was a friend of Professor Figgs who merely joined us for the ride.
Still, impressive. Dreadful way to go, poor fellow. Glad you and Fig are all right.
Так, он угораздило же попасть в такую передрягу, бедняжка. Хорошо, что вы с Фигом. Нафиг.
Professor Fig and I were lucky to escape with our lives.
Indeed. And how did you escape?
It's all still a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Didn't mean to press. You just get yourself settled. We can talk more later.
Что он читал?
What book were you reading?
A spell book I picked up. Has a few interesting things, but not exactly what I was looking for. I'm sure you'll find out soon enough. But not every spell you may need can be found in our assigned textbooks.
Блядь, меня не кидает эта хуйня. Мид. Мид надо, блядь. Пошел, блядь.
Are you saying some spells aren't taught at Hogwarts? Which ones?
Seems I may have met a kindred spirit. That is a conversation for another time. It was good meeting you. Good luck today.
Ага.
Revelio.
Что там? А, мы отсюда могли бы прийти, но мы-то отсюда не пришли, значит, мы сюда зайдем и спиздим деньги.
Я штурма беру.
И иду. Большой сундук. Сука. Мразела какая. А тут не дает поесть. Так. Ладно, мы не будем ни у кого ничего пиздить уже. Ну сколько можно? Ну, уже это прям наглёж какой-то. Так. Должно быть страшно жить в одной деревушке, когда в округе бла-бла-бла. Делаешь так, проиграешь, точно говорю. Ну что сделала и что теперь? И еще раз сделала.
Not going to move there, are you?
Надеюсь, ты не станешь делать это?
Watch this.
Вот, смотри.
Don't say I didn't warn
А
you.
ты мне говоришь, что я тебе, а что-то там бла-бла-бла.
Told you.
Я же говорила. Какая-то противная.
You should have listened to me. Ah, I know who
Я
you
знаю, кто
are.
ты. Ты
You're
новая
the new
слизеринка,
Slytherin, the one
которая
who barged
приехала
in with
прошлой
Professor
вечером
Fig
к
last
профессору
night.
Фигу.
Interesting tactic on your
Интересная
first day,
тактика. В первый
taking all
день
the
в школе
attention away
привлечь
from the first
внимание к
years.
себе.
I'm Imelda, by the
Кстати, я
way.
Эмиль.
Shame I
Даже
wasn't
что
with
меня
you
с
in
вами не
Fig.
было,
I
я
could
бы
have
отвлекла
lured
этого
that dragon
дракона.
away.
Все знают, что
My
я
skills in
летаю
a
на
room
метле
are
лучше всех.
legendary.
Идут справа, за пирамидой.
Мы справились сами. Пошла нахуй.
We handled it.
Мы и так
And I
справились,
think
потому
you're
что, думаю, ты
underestimating the
недооцениваешь
nature of the
дракона.
dragon.
Он был
A broom would have been
он бы поджег
kindling.
метлу.
Ha!
И тебя.
Not the way I fly.
Навряд ли.
Perhaps one of these days
Может,
I'll show
однажды
you a
я
thing or
чем-нибудь
two about
научу
flying.
тебя.
I can
Узнаю
teach you more
полеты
than
куда
Pagala
больше,
ever
чем
could.
Кагала.
Speaking of which, I'd
Слово
like to get in
сказать,
some
пойду-ка
time on my broom
немного
before
потренировалась перед
classes.
занятиями. Пизды нахуй, блядь. Пока, блядь.
Goodbye, Imelda.
Nice meeting you.
Приятно было познакомиться. А мне неприятно было познакомиться с тобой. Шлюха.
Nothing yet.
I think I heard
Кажется,
one.
что ты слышал.
Я просто вижу, как
Doubt
Вряд ли
mermaids
мы
find us that
так уж
interesting.
интересны русалкам.
Ah, based on all the
А,
chatter
кстати,
when you
по
entered the common
оживлению в
room, I'm
гостиной ты
guessing you're the
есть
new
новая
fifth.
пятикурсница.
I'm
Я
Ominous.
Омикс.
Ominous
Омикс
Gorm.
мрак.
Nice to meet you, Ominous.
Well, you certainly had a memorable arrival.
Под, лево, легче, лево, еще, да. Нет,
I'd much rather have arrived on time and without a dragon attack en route.
I'm sure. How horrible. I can only imagine. Well, it's good to have you in Slytherin. Do let me know if I can be of any help as you navigate your first days here.
Did that student say he thought he heard a mermaid?
Yes, but I've never heard of a mermaid showing up outside our common room window. It is fun to play along, though. Been known to keep some first years on the lookout for hours.
Все, иди
Thank you,
нахуй, чел.
Ominous. Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine. Don't be a stranger.
Is the new fifth-year
Новая
Slytherin in here?
пятикурсница Слизерина, профессор Уизли ждет тебя возле лестницы. Кто это сказал, блядь?
Они обходят.
Ебать.
Блядь, куда ты стреляешь?
Пиздец, как они орут, я лапаю.
Revelio.
Что мне это ревелия дает? Я просто прожимаю чисто по приколу. Но я поняла вроде, что оно...
Хорошо. Блядь, все.
Что, могу сюда? О, прикольно.
Good morning. I trust you're
Доброе
ready
утро,
for your
надеюсь,
first
вы
day at
готовы к первому дню
Hogwarts.
в
I've been
Хогвартсе.
dreaming of this day for a long time.
Да
Can't believe
пиздишь.
I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs. Owls.
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams.
Стандартное
They will determine
обучение
what type of career
волшебству.
you can have
Результаты
when you leave
определяют,
here.
в какой сфере
After
вы можете,
much
бла-бла-бла.
discussion with the headmaster and the Department of Magical Education at the Ministry, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success.
Окей. Ой, нихуя,
Here you are.
Гарри Поттер. Ты всю книгу распидорасила просто.
What is it?
It is a wizard's field guide. It will help you to keep track of what you are learning so that you master all that's expected of a fifth year. You would be wise to take full advantage of this exceptionally valuable resource.
Thank you, Professor. but
Спасибо, профессор,
what do you
но
mean it
что
will
значит
keep track
будет
of what
следить
I'm
за
learning?
моими успехами в учебе?
Perhaps seeing it in
Возможно,
action
будет
will
разумнее
answer any
сказать,
questions you may have.
сразу показать
Walk
вам
with
и
me and we shall
бла-бла-бла.
put it to the test.
Идемте, опробуем сразу ваши умения
This
по
way.
знанию. Иди нахуй, у меня здесь...
I certainly would have appreciated
Подожди, ну не поджигайся. Наверное, мне
Using
нужно
the guide
изучить
will also train you to be alert to your surroundings.
сундук факультета. Мы туда ничего не можем... О, ебать. Чиназис.
Но уже пора
Не беги.
Спасибо.
Куда идешь
The
ты?
guide will give you
В
opportunities
руководстве
to
найдите
practice your
подсказки,
magic
которые помогут
and
вам освоить
educate
некоторые
yourself about
заклинания и узнать
wizarding lore.
больше о волшебном мире. Ага, спасибо.
Do keep up.
Предложи в том же духе. О!
Why don't you cast Revelio on that statue and see what details the field guide can provide?
Нихуя, сундук. Ну, нашла, ну, допустим, ну, вот сундук, и что с ним делать? Ну и чё? Ну, откройся, ну и похуй на него. Что?
Rebellion.
А, вот. Дошло. Кельпи. Да, у вас прогресс будет отображаться сделался. Ема. Чё? Животноводство. И что дальше? Что для тебя есть у кого все в Хогвартсе? Есть исследования очки с религиями регалиями Хогвартса.
Ну это бред, я ровно.
Сука, заебали, блядь, орать.
Просто бред, блядь.
Я буду ходить с книжонкой и все туда
Keep your eyes
записывать.
open for more opportunities like that, inside and outside of the castle.
Блядь.
Так.
Нихуя себе. О, да еще раз. Чиназас. О, волшебное слово работает. Пошли дальше. Север. Ежик. Мотель. Иди нахуй. Пошли дальше. Так.
Good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use
Так,
blue flames to get around a bit quicker.
Чем?
Your field guide contains a map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall.
Холл. Открыть. Открыть карту на. Нихуя. Да ну на. Ай-яй-яй. Ого. Так, и чё? Ладно. Ого, ебать, ебать. Хорошо, как обратно, как обратно, как обратно. Ага. Ага. А.
And here we are.
На
Quite the
месте, как
time
видите,
saver.
это очень
These
экономит
stairs
время.
lead directly to
Лестница
Central
ведет прямо в
Hall.
центральный зал. Хорошо, блядь.
You can get almost anywhere in the castle quickly from Central Hall.
Ни черта себе. Это что такое? Ай-яй-яй-яй. Ого.
Always something happening here. It's the heart of the hive.
Что
Our
это?
King's Cross station, so to speak.
Опа.
That should be all for now.
На этом пока все. Сегодня у вас заклинание защиты темных искусств.
Against the dark arts classes today.
Спасибо.
And I'd like to be sure you get to
после как-
Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
Ага. Так. Что такое Хогсмит? Ну, блин, ну по фильмам-то мы знаем, что такое Хогсмит.
А в целом PS2 больше понравился, чем PS2?
Да похуй.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day, and you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
Да.
We did take a bit of a detour on the way here. Ended up exploring some ruins and... I shouldn't say more.
Exploring ruins? Well, I presume Professor Fig has his reasons for keeping the details to himself for now.
Смотри, сколько
Speak
details.
of the devil, Professor Fig.
Смотри, какая
Your
фирма.
ears must have been burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig, to explain the details of the field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you. Good luck today. And remember to use your field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable to me, as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
Ссылка на Donation Alert в описании, потому что я хочу побыстрее нахрен собрать на свой комп и чтобы, блядь, опустилась эта ебаная хуетень. Ладно, хуй с ней. Накопить себе на компьютер, чтобы не слушать этот ебаный ор, блядь.
It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today, before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you and Professor Weasley talking about exploring ruins?
She caught me off guard. I didn't tell her anything else about our travels here. I will say, I think she suspects we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well-trained. Happily, you have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, unfold it and have a look.
Так, вы можете исследовать доступные задания. О. Так, основные задания.
The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
This will be incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Now, sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
Так, я сейчас приду. Минутку, я хочу закинуть велосипед обратно, не обратно. Сейчас, минуточку. Компас. О! Метант. О, ничего себе. А, ничего. Не финты себе. Не пиздячит.
Revelio.
Давай. Ой, это дементор? Похоже немного. Здравствуйте.
Is that all you've got?
Levioso!
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Минуту. Мы жрем. Так. Бля, я насорила на стол. Сука. Куда? Ага.
Levioso.
Не Левиоса, а Левиоса.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with the basic cast.
А куда?
See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember, basic cast good. Now, the basic cast. Well done.
Levioso.
Good. Now, well done.
Ой, блин. Куда? Стой! Куда?
Very good. But the best way to practice is by dueling.
Хогвартс
We'll start with you
Legacy.
two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
This should be easy.
You good?
How perceptive. How's the view?
Oh, there.
Tego. I know. Good form.
I know. Ну, восстанавливается долго. Куда его?
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
Ладно, гордится,
I
конечно,
put you
собой.
on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Slytherin.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments. All right. That's enough spectacle for one day. Class is dismissed.
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you, not the other way around. Oh, I'm not much for dueling. I prefer to keep things friendly.
Ага. Пуфиндуется. Пуфиндуется. На нем не работает нихуя.
Nice work.
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? Felt more like I was dueling an expert. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
Блядь.
I've dueled enough. Consider yourself lucky I held back.
Fair enough. You owe me an honest duel when you aren't. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling organization.
Unsanctioned? I don't know. School rules are in place for a reason.
Yes, to keep students in the dark. So many things we're deemed unprepared to know. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance. If you're interested. Till next time.
Интересно, я... Блин. Что это? Чё открыть escape? Задание. Занятие по заклинаниям. Вот его.
I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel. Huh. Always thought Levioso was for first years. Not anymore.
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition. Well done.
Не перепрыгивает. Какой протега, блин? Ты бабочка.
Блять,
да как они заебали, блядь. Умеешь спокойно играть, блядь.
Ну что он делает, блядь? Баранда. Типа еще убили, когда он вышел, но ладно, вообще блядь. Вы, блядь, еще подберлись на какую ебаную тварь. Да я хуй, блядь.
Так, стоп, а это что?
Это обойти? Нет, блядь, не сказано.
What do you want? Get away from me!
Нихуя себе. Туалет. А где плаксонит? Зелье готовит кто-то. Просто толчок.
Калёный вроде.
О!
Блять! Ай, блять! Да заебал, ты чё, блять? Да мне песик не могу. На, блять. Элеватор.
Огромный, конечно, Хогвартс. А интересно, вот эти вот лестницы будут здесь?
Professor Ronan tends to go on a bit. We sometimes have to...
А то я Кирилл... А то я Лёшка, я Кириллу говорю, а... Я сам помню, я знал все это, когда был...
Behind you. There is an open seat here.
Давай, негр к негру.
Thank you. Hello, I am Nettie.
Hello.
So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? Hmm? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another.
Веселый, конечно.
Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
Ага.
Accio! That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me. I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree. So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off?
Блядь. Так, чё ты хочешь? Блядь, далеко как-то.
Splendid! Don't lose your composure. Now, think of this like gobstones, if you will. But instead of throwing the marbles out, you are summoning them towards you. Very good. Not to worry. Very good. Points to Slytherin. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up.
Так.
You'll be the blues, just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Как правило игры.
Here we go! Yes! What's this? Phew.
That's it!
Be sharp. That is how it's done.
Ну, 5.
Brilliant.
Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
Что он там добавил?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Here we go. There we go. Let us see this.
Угу. Так.
I know everyone is watching, but try not to be nervous. You are doing quite well.
Splendid!
Watch this. That is how it's done. Nicely done.
Very good, both of you. Well done.
Да там, нищий. Хочу убить его.
Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Ouagadougou just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Ouagadougou uses one.
You can cast spells without a wand.
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Ouagadougou, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can use Accio on humans, if you're so.
Well, you'd be using it on clothing, to be precise, Sebastian. You know it won't work on humans.
Professor Ronan reminds me of my grandfather. Loads of wisdom, but a bit mad.
After my brother learned the summoning charm, it was constant Accio this, Accio that, cutlery flying everywhere.
You wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
adore getting
This cannot possibly be as difficult as it seems.
Hello. I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. I'm Lenora. Pardon me if I seem a little distracted at the moment. Everyone thinks I'm utterly balmy. Samantha thinks I'm potty. But it's this painting. I never noticed it before. If I know Hogwarts, and I do, an empty frame doesn't appear for no reason. There's something more to this.
Are there other empty paintings like this around the school?
Yes, a few. This entire place is somewhat of a riddle, to be honest. If I can work out the riddle of this one, I'll know what to do with all of them. As good a place as any to begin.
If I have the time, I may look. Could be intriguing.
I've been racking my brains long enough. I hope you'll have better luck than I have. Do come and find me if you stumble on something. That solves the mystery.
Hogwarts must have hundreds of thousands.
That I don't write down.
Revelio.
What are you up to now?
What about the room, Professor?
I was thinking the same thing, Deke. Perhaps you could help.
Oh, excuse, Deke.
Ah, there you are. I trust your first classes went well?
They did, Professor.
I heard as much from Professors Hecat and Ronan. Seems Professor Fig taught you quite a bit during your brief detour near... what was it you said? Some ruins? I'd wager there's a good deal more to your travels here than what you've told me. Isn't there?
Nothing more, Professor.
I see. Like trying to get a sonnet from a streeler. Regardless, you must continue to build upon what you've learned. In that regard, I've asked your professors to help hasten your progress with some extra assignments.
Professor Ronan did mention something about that.
In fact, Professor Ronan will meet you outside momentarily to assign your first one. Now, regarding the trip to Hogsmeade I mentioned earlier, we've arranged to replace the supplies lost on your way here, including seeds, potion recipes, and spellcrafts.
Thank you, Professor.
And Mr. Ollivander will connect you with the perfect wand. You've managed your classes well with a borrowed wand, but you'll find the magic you cast with your own wand to be far superior.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade.
Very well. I'd like you to make your first visit to the village with a classmate. Help you get your bearings. Perhaps Sebastian Sallow or Natsai Onai. I've noticed you spending time with them.
I'd like to go with Sebastian.
Glad to hear it. Mr. Sallow is a capable young wizard, and he knows the area. He'll keep you well clear of any of Victor Rookwood's undesirables en route.
Rookwood?
A rather unsavory local. Best to avoid him and his associates, including his right hand of sorts, Theophilus Harlow, if you can. Once you've finished Professor Ronan's assignment, your friend will meet you at the castle doors. No time to waste. The sooner you complete your work, the sooner you can enjoy a butterbeer at the Three Broomsticks.
Ну что ж, ну все это уже мы сделаем в следующей серии, а сейчас мы будем с вами заканчивать. Мы тут немножко полутаемся, посмотрим, что у них тут есть, может что-то подспиздим. Як? А что ты подглядываешь? Не открывается замочек. Сейчас мы тут все посмотрим и можем Себастьяна делать потихонечку. Все. Всем до следующих серий. Всем пока-пока. Лайки, репосты, подписки, хуиски. Не забываем. Черного ночи.